we understand that Chicago and the city of Chicago is very excited about what happened last year, but look, last year's over with, and the reality of the NFL is that I think I saw something. There's like 7 to 9 new playoff teams every year, so this league is they want parity and they get their parity, and you see that year to year, and we're not excused from that. So it's going to take a lot of work for us to not be one of those 7 to 9 teams that miss out on it, because I think we'd all say that's not what we're looking to do this year. We're looking to not only get back to where we were last year with a chance to go to the NFC Championship game, but to exceed that and go win a Super Bowl. Yep.
Last year is over. The new year has begun. People are starting to wander their way in through Hallis Hall. We've done mock drafts, we've done mock drafts. There's new faces potentially coming our way, and faces that we were hoping to come our way have entered into other places. So let's start there. Dexter Lawrence is not on the Bears. He's on the Bengals for the number 10th pick. What does that mean for the Bears and this draft and, how we end up picking people sort of moving forward?
Yeah, it was I think a lot of Bears fans were bummed that they didn't end up getting Dexter Lawrence, but I also thought, man, did the Bengals really overpay for him? Uh, you heard that the Giants really wanted like a high draft pick, but everybody was like, "Oh, it's probably a late pick." Um, Ended up setting the number 10 pick for Dexter Lawrence, and in order for the Bears to beat that, they would have had to send on this like Jimmy Johnson points thing. Each draft pick is assigned a point, and that's how you kind of determine fair trades. And in order for them to have beaten the point value of the number 10 spot, they would have had to send 25, 57, and 60. They would have had to
Mm.
send their first three draft picks, which would have been wholly irresponsible for like, a 28-year-old defensive tackle coming off an elbow injury. So it's a bummer that they missed out on him because he would have really helped that defense, but nothing really they could have done. So good news is we get to like see what they're going to do in the draft now, which is a couple days away here, depending on when you're listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I was re-listening to our episode. I was telling you sort of in our
Hmm.
pre-show thing, but yeah, we had talked about the Bears being kind of in that, I think you said late first, early second was kind of the window that they were sort of projecting was maybe going to be what Dexter Lawrence was going to get to
Yeah, yeah. If they could have given up the 25 and gotten him, I think that would have been great.
Yeah,
Obviously they got the Giants got way more in return. So, oh, looks like I froze there for a little bit.
you're back.
I'm back. I have a lot of things running on my computer.
Okay, so we've been doing a lot of different mock drafts. You were doing one right before we jumped on
Hmm.
because the ones you had done sort of entered into the ether. But maybe tell us a little bit about kind of what you're thinking, what you got, how you're feeling about your draft picks.
Yeah. Let me know when it's visible.
It is visible. Sometimes when we share screens on our recording, it won't. So if this isn't, we'll put a
Oh,
little snippet anyways. Doesn't matter. You
all
can
right.
just talk about it.
All right. So I did a couple different drafts. I did four here. You can see from the tabs, or maybe not. I don't know. Um, Based on different position players the Bears will pick. Now I limited it to four. Um, Based on our conversations last week, I did one where the Bears selected a cornerback first, a defensive tackle, a defensive end, and an offensive tackle. Now they could take a safety. There's some other, maybe that's probably the only other direction they would go, but I wanted to see how the board fell and maybe some of the players we ended up with. So this was me taking a cornerback first. And I tried to trade down wherever it made sense because I feel like and I also, sorry, I tried to trade down, and then I also tried to get 2027 draft picks because from everything I'm reading, the 2027 draft is a lot stronger than the 2026 draft. And so you're not going to see a lot of teams give up capital, next year draft capital to move up in this draft. A lot of people want to accumulate capital for next year's draft because it's supposed to be stronger. So in this one, I was able to get two additional fourth round picks next year. and I went with Colton Hood, which is very similar to what we did on Bears on Tap. If you guys had a chance to check out that mock draft that we did, um, I took Colton Hood first. He's a first round grade, uber aggressive cornerback. I think the Bears need a cornerback outside next to Jalen Johnson. I don't know if they're totally enamored with Tyreek Stevenson. Terrell Smith is coming off an ACL. Ja Frazier missed the entire rookie season. We don't know what he's going to be. And then obviously Nashawn Wright is no longer with the team. So a lot of question marks on cornerback too. And Jalen was hurt a lot last year, right? And so was Kyler Gordon. So that's a position that they need a quality starter, and Colton Hood fits that bill. Traydon Stukes is listed as a cornerback, but he's probably going to get drafted as a safety or maybe even a nickel, but probably safety. He is checks a lot of boxes. His problem is he's already 25,
Mhm.
so he's an old rookie. But I think based on the position, Byard 31 years old and had his best season of his career. So the safety position, you're not taking a lot of taking a lot of wear, as much wear and tear as like a defensive tackle or something like that. And he's pretty rangy. I think he's a good fit there. And then I took Gracen Halton, defensive tackle, because I was like, we got to address the D line. Mike Washington Jr. was good value there. He's like a really powerful, athletic running back. And then, yeah, so I went with some offensive toys. You'll see some of these names probably come up. I think Malachi Fields is a name that you'll hear a lot. He's kind of like Roma Dunze, though. He's a taller, bigger framed wide receiver that can play that X, the outside spot. I don't know if they take him because of that Rome being there, but I like the value. And Trey Zune is an interesting name to watch. He's listed as a center here, and the Bears need a center, right? Because Drew Dahlman retired. They traded a fifth round pick for Bradbury. He's only on a 1 year deal. They're going to need somebody to come in and play center the following year. So I tried to get a center wherever I could. Trey Zune is a good pick there. He played center at Texas A&M, but he is pretty versatile and can play multiple spots on that offensive line, even the tackle spots. So I think it's a good depth value piece there. So that's how it kind of turned out. You'll notice we didn't get a defensive end, which I know a lot of Bears fans are like, we need a defensive end, and I agree. It's just the value really drops with those guys in the
Mm.
later rounds. Same thing with offensive linemen. We didn't get one except for Trey Zune. If you're going to get a tackle in this draft, you need to get it in the first round because a, I don't think at 57 you're going to get a good tackle.
So you
If you
think if
want one, you got to take one at 25.
Yeah, so if they don't draft it first, then it doesn't seem like they will maybe be drafting.
That's what I think. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, interesting.
that's what I think. So, but this one shaked out okay. It was a B minus. Let me see if I can find the one where I did take the offensive line. So this is the one where I did take the offensive lineman first. I was able to trade back 2 spots and still get Max Ayenachor. I could see them taking him. He started his football career very late. He hasn't been playing that long, and he played a little on the right side, played a little on the left side, but as Q put it, he doesn't have any bad habits you have to coach out. He has all the physical traits in the world, just needs to be molded. So they could take him. His ceiling is sky high. His floor also could be pretty low because he hasn't played a ton. So I went with the offensive tackle in round one, and then kind of wanted to see who else was around. And then there's your boy Cassius Howell that
My
you
first round
scouted.
pick.
Yes, he was still there at 62. Doesn't really fit the Dennis Allen mold. He's not big enough on the defensive end where I think that Dennis Allen would like to take him, but that's really good value at 62. So, if I'm Ryan Poles, I'm like, Dennis, make it work. Um, and you see Halton there again as a pretty like decent defensive tackle option in those 60s. So if I saw him there, I would try to get him because he's one of like the few that are left before it. At 89, you're not going to get a ton. At 89, I didn't really like too many of the safeties there, but we had to take one because I think safety is a spot the Bears need to address.
Mm.
They only have, they like lost all of their safeties, right? And they re-signed Kobe Bryant, they signed Cam Lewis. I don't think you want Cam Lewis to start. you're gonna need to draft a starter here. I took Bud Clark, and then I got some good value out of Takario Davis. Out of Washington was good value, and like I said, they need a corner. Then I got a wide receiver here. Dazon Stribling is somebody that's really rising up the draft boards. He is a speedster. He gives the Bears something they don't have right now. You know, they've got some good possession receivers. Burton's pretty good after the catch, but he's not a burner necessarily. This guy is a
Mm.
speedster. He can take that Zacchaeus spot. So that would be pretty good value. And then I was able to get a 2027 third round pick. So this was okay as well. I don't hate the way this turned out. Now you've got I don't know how Cassius Howell fits into that um, defensive scheme, but you've got yourself this one. You've got maybe two starters on here. It's more depth, I guess. So I think I probably like the other draft better, but this is kind of how the board shaped out with offensive tackle.
Before you go to the next one, are there any positions that I mean outside of the quarterback that are like redundant draft positions that you think the Bears maybe shouldn't pick at all, or is it just like at once you start getting to the deeper rounds,
So
like you're just
once you get
picking?
to like after your top 100,
Yeah.
just take somebody that's going to help your football team
Mm.
be better.
Yeah.
You know, whether even if it's a tight end, right, or a running back or a wide receiver, you know.
Yeah.
Quarterback, I would be scratching my head if they took a quarterback, but you never know. I mean, maybe who knows what's going to happen, right? Maybe they deal Tyson. There's a lot of talks of Arizona needing a quarterback now, right? Maybe they give up a draft pick for Tyson, and then maybe you take a shot on Drew Aller or some of these other guys like way late round to kind of develop into that backup quarterback, knowing you still have Case Keenum on the roster. But
Yeah. Yeah.
outside of quarterback, I don't think that there's any position that's like totally off limits. I
Yeah.
mean,
Gotcha.
the special teams, right? You don't want to draft a kicker or punter.
For sure.
So oh no, this thing reset. All right, it's all right. Oh, all right. This is why I have my thing saved up. So I will stop sharing and I'll go over the last two that I had,
Uh,
and I'll send these to Chirag so he will pop these up as well.
yeah, they'll be up for sure.
So one I did with defensive end, and I got your other guy that you scouted, Akeem Messidor. So remember
Hey,
I was telling you he might not be around at 25. I was able to trade back from 25 to 27, and I still was able to get Messenger. So that was great. So I like this draft a lot, this one that I did, because I got Messenger at 27, and then at 57, I was able to get D'Angelo Pons. He's cornerback out of Indiana, and he's normally not there. And he is a dog, man. Like
mm.
that guy is super aggressive. He would just be I think he's going to be really good in the NFL. And so we were able to get him, and then we were able to get Treydon Stukes too. So we solved an edge problem, our cornerback problem, and our safety problem with our first three picks. We got three starters with our first three picks. And then old reliable Gracen Halton was still there at 60. So I grabbed him as a defensive tackle. We got Trey Zune, which I already talked about, versatility along the offensive line. And then I was able to fill out some depth pieces with wide receivers, a running back, and another defensive tackle. So I really like this draft. I got a B plus on it. I didn't get any. My only qualm is I didn't get any 2027 draft capital, but that's okay. I was really happy with my first like five picks on this one with Messiter, Pons, Stukes, Halton, and Zune. I think we're to if those guys hit, it's a great draft. So
Where is Messidor? And that's the gentleman who's the 25-year-old ready to
also
play.
25. So I did draft two 25-year-olds. I do want to point that out.
Yeah.
So some people might not like it because it's like kind of old rookies, but these guys are going to come in and start right away.
Yeah.
Um, and so they've got high floors, basically.
And is he expected to go like way higher than 25th?
No, probably between 15 and 20 is what I've typically seen.
Oh, got you.
So um, I like the way that one turned out. Um, also like this one too. Then I went the last one I did defensive tackle, and that was Caden McDonald. I took him first. Now Caden McDonald, there's mixed reviews on him. He's a big boy. He's a run stuffer. He eats people.
Mm.
Like he just swallows up that hole. Pass rush, there's still some left to be desired. And that's why people are kind of mixed on him. He is a great run defender, and look, the Bears need more pass rush, but they also got gashed against the run last year as well. So I don't think it's a terrible pick to take him. I wanted to see what that looked like, so I was able to trade back from 25 to 29. Still got McDonald, and then I was able to get Cassius, your boy Cassius Howell, and then I took a linebacker, Anthony Hill Jr. I didn't necessarily want to take him, but the value was good there. And while linebacker is not a total need right now, it is a question mark, right? Because they did sign Devin Bush, but TJ Edwards is coming off a broken fibula or tibia, I forget which one, but it's a big bone.
Mm.
And Noah Sewell, I think, of Achilles. So you don't know what you're going to really get out of those guys. The issue with Anthony Hill is he's not great in pass coverage, but he's like a freak athlete and a good run stopper, which is basically the same as Devin Bush. So now you got two athletic freaks kind of flying around. They have to learn pass coverage, but I think it's fine. At 69, I took a shot at Caleb Banks. I don't know if you remember
Mm.
Caleb Banks, but we talked about him last week. He is all the tools and traits of a first rounder, but he keeps breaking his foot. And he's 300 pounds and breaks his foot. And so I think it's going to scare some teams away. But I got it at 69, he was still sitting there. And I thought the upside was too good to pass on that. So I got Caleb Banks, and then I got Zaki Wheatley, safety out of Penn State, who's just a good all around safety. I think he's a plug and play starter as well. And then at 109, I got Derek Moore, edge out of Michigan, which is, he's like a bull rush type edge. He builds up speed and then just plows through you. He doesn't have a lot of hand movements and technique yet, but that's something that can be learned. So um, that was a pretty good draft. One of the glaring needs though is I didn't get a center on that one, an offensive lineman. I actually didn't get any offensive players in this draft. This is a solely
Oh,
defensive
defense.
draft. It was tackle, edge, linebacker, tackle, safety, edge, edge. So it's an all defense draft, which I don't think would kill the Bears
Mm.
necessarily. Um, but they do have some things that they could probably address, like getting a speedster um, at wide receiver, and then backup center. Maybe obviously if they feel like they need to address the tackle position. I don't know how they feel about Braxton and Wills,
Yeah.
or what they feel like with Ozzy's injury. So it's hard to really tell if they think they need a tackle or not. Obviously, if they think they need one, they're going to have to get one in the first round, I think.
The O-line stuff is sort of the like low key, sort of like question mark, I guess. We sort of know things because it's like they were so good and all these changes
Yeah,
have happened. And
yeah.
as we've been talking more, I actually am starting to lean towards an offensive tackle in an early pick just because it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, because I'm just making a guess, I guess.
No, it's not a bad guess. I mean, um, I think they could go that way, right? And you want to protect Caleb. That's like the whole name of the game. He can't get hurt, right? If he gets hurt, your whole season's done.
Mm.
So I don't think anybody would blame them if they took a tackle in round one. Now, if they took Max Ainachor, Nainja, if they took him, I don't think he's ready to start week one. They must be really high on his intangibles and feel
Mm.
like he could be like lock that down for years to come. But anybody else you'd feel like they think would have a pretty good chance to win that job and start right away and be a clear upgrade.
Okay, one, that's 25 new names that you've added to the list, so thank you for that. That is incredible. Thank you for doing all of that. As we kind of the draft is in a couple days now, what are you maybe the most hopeful for like let's go first pick ish? Because I know the first pick kind of shifts the tone for everything else. But what are you sort of perfect world? And maybe you can either say people or position that you hope that they kind of flow through.
Honestly, I think they can get a good player at 25. I just would like to see them trade down. I think that they could use more picks because they have a couple holes that they can address. I found myself if I didn't trade down, I ran out of positions that I was aiming for. And so I would like to see them trade down now. The PFM, they basically offer you trades like all the time. So these are a little bit unrealistic as well. I just took advantage of them because I just wanted to get more players and talk
Yeah,
about more.
yeah.
I don't see them ending up with like what I got 7 draft picks on this one. 6, 7. Yeah, I don't. This one I had 8. I don't. I think they'll probably end up with 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I would like to see them trade down and accumulate some more draft capital and get some draft capital for next year. I think would be great because that's supposed to be a much better draft. Other than that, they really need to get a safety and get some players along the defensive line is kind of what I would want to see, and a cornerback.
Yeah. Yeah, in a spot where maybe there isn't someone that's a super standout going back a couple picks and still getting basically kind of caliber wise a similar person and get more picks. I've been convinced that that is the move also. You're very
Yeah,
convincing, man.
yeah.
Okay, where can people listen to you? Where can people find you, read you, think about you, see you, smell you, all those things?
Oh wow. Well, we'll just do the internet stuff.
Okay.
You can find me at ontapsportsnet.com. Just specifically like the obviously the Bears on Tap. I post all the articles and pods that we do at X at smpatel06. But yeah, check me out. We're actually gonna do I don't know if I'll be part of it, but Bears on Tap is gonna do a live pod Thursday during the draft for, you know, basically immediate reaction to their pick. And then maybe another pod Thursday night, or maybe it'll be the same pod about who's left for Friday, who they should target, what does the rest of the draft kind of look based on that first round pick that they take. So if you're interested in more draft nerdy stuff, check that out. Otherwise, we'll cover that here, I'm sure, next week as well. So
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm, not back on Instagram, so you can just find me here. For Samir Patel, I am Chirag Rathod. We are the Bears in the Neighborhood, your weekly insight into the Chicago Bears in under 30 minutes, and we will catch you all next week.